And if we're living in a stress response or a stressful environment, that means our cortisol levels are elevated. And so cortisol is something that we really want to check out and make sure that we reduce significantly within our lifestyle, because cortisol affects insulin sensitivity, fat storage, and also it has a huge relation to hunger signals. Hello and welcome back. Now, just before we get started, don't forget, if you're watching this on the Total Somatics YouTube channel, could you like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell so whenever an episode is released, you find out very quickly. Also, please check out my TEDx talk, which is, you can find that on YouTube. So if you go to the search bar in YouTube and type in TEDx Heidi Hadley, you'll be able to watch my talk, which is on the subject of pandiculation. But let us get started with today's episode, because what I want us to do today is explore something that's often overlooked. And that's the role of your nervous system and muscle memory in relation to weight regulation. Now, let us consider here the somatic connection between your metabolism and body awareness. It's really important that we look at this today, because many people just focus on diet and exercise alone. However, when we have chronic tension within our body, that starts to cause our body to brace and hold a huge amount of tension. And when that happens, that begins to create a low-grade level of inflammation. And if we have this low-grade level of inflammation, that's going to start to affect our digestive system, and it starts to disrupt our whole hormonal system. And you see, when we continue to live in this state of flux or this dysregulation, that means that we've allowed ourselves to live in this very stressful environment. And if we're living in a stress response or a stressful environment, that means our cortisol levels are elevated. And so cortisol is something that we really want to check out and make sure that we reduce significantly within our lifestyle, because cortisol affects insulin sensitivity, fat storage, and also it has a huge relation to hunger signals. And that's where I want to share with you how clinical somatic movement will help to calm your nervous system. It improves your breathing. It starts to settle and regulate your digestive function generally, because we're taking it out of a stress response. And don't forget, your digestive system, your colon, that's still the muscular system. So we want to look at how we can manage your colon, which is again all muscular in activity. And so when we do that, we stop this bracing, this holding huge tension, maybe like within our abdomen, within our whole pelvic region. All that area will start to loosen and release. And that means that we can let go of a large amount of tension. But don't forget, not only are we looking at that, but if we are lowering our cortisol levels, that really helps with our skin. And if we think of the aging process, we want to do what we can to keep that vibrancy and that plumpness and that freshness within our body. You see, cortisol has such damaging and aging effects within our system. So you can see on many, many levels, it's really important that we manage our stress levels. Because let us just go back to thinking how when we release muscular tension, what we're going to be doing is also not just releasing muscular tension by managing this with clinical somatics, but we're improving our body awareness. And these two things are crucial for regulating our nervous system. And remember, if we're regulating our nervous system, if we're embodied or aware of our body and what's happening, and we're reducing this muscle tension, it means we're going to have better gut and brain connection, because these two are really working at an optimal level. We're also going to improve our nervous system function, because instead of being in a survival state, we're in more of a regulated nervous system, which means we can take more in. We're less reactive, we're less sensitive to situations, we're more objective within a situation. And again, that objectivity instead of that hypersensitivity is going to really regulate and calm us from within. Also, added to that, we are less emotional, maybe with eating, less reactive in our behavior. And that's really, really important, because this is again about emotional intelligence on many, many levels. But I'd like to give you a takeaway practice today. So if you're ready for this, you might want to write this down or just listen back to this at a different time. And if you want to do this with me now, please do. So if you're happy to close your eyes, then please do, because it makes you focus more inward. And I'd like you just to notice as you sit here, and do this a few times throughout the day, keep checking in. But I'd like you just to scan with your eyes closed, scan from head to toe. And as you scan from head to toe, I just want you to notice, where do you feel that you're holding tension? So don't overthink this. Don't shift and change anything. Just notice, where is there tension being held? Can you just pinpoint one area that you've noticed at this point? And then could you slowly contract the muscles in that area? So if it's your jaw, just clench your jaw a little bit more. If you feel your shoulders are up by your ears, just shrug your shoulders a little bit more. If you feel your belly is quite tight, just suck your tummy in a little bit more. And then very slowly, just let that area release. Just let everything go. And as you do that, keep breathing deeply. When you finish letting that go, could I encourage you just to take another deep breath in? And then as you exhale, could you allow that exhale just to notice what residue tension you're still holding in that area? Could you just let it go with that extra out breath or two? Again, just notice there's always something left in the tank there that you can let go of. And just again, notice how you feel just doing that little contraction and then that little release with a few out breaths, just to again dial down that stress response. And maybe when you're doing this on your own, again with your eyes closed, search out another area where you're holding tension. Again, notice that area, slowly contract the muscles in that area, then very slowly allow them to release and let go, taking as many deep breaths as you want, breathing in, breathing out nice and slowly. And again, when you feel that area has fully released and let go, just take another deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just notice there's that little bit more that you could let go of. It's really powerful. And if you can just check in throughout the day and do that, that's really, really important. It's allowing you to become embodied or mindful or aware of what's happening. It's allowing you to use your breath to quickly regulate and settle your nervous system if you've been in a stress response. It's also releasing that muscle tension that, again, we can hold and we can brace. And when we do all of that, what that's doing is a very powerful messaging to your nervous system. It's telling your nervous system that we're in a relaxed, like a relaxed meditative state rather than in a stress survival state. Do you remember earlier I mentioned the expression bracing our body or tensing up? So again, when we're braced and we're tense, that is telling our nervous system we're stressed. And remember, I'm always saying this, that your nervous system does not know the difference between perceived and actual danger. All it's picking up is sensory cues. If it's noticing things are tense and tight, hormones such as cortisol are going to pump through our body because it feels your nervous system is interpreting this stressful situation. So can you see it's about managing your nervous system state throughout the day? Very, very, very simple technique to take away, but notice how you can incorporate that throughout your day. And what that will do is, as you feel your nervous system ramping up with a lot of stress that's happening, spend just a few minutes doing that and regulating and bringing your nervous system back into a state of balance. And again, remember, if you close your eyes, if that's a possibility to do in the setting that you are, as you close your eyes, you shut away all those other busy stimulants that are around you, all that stimulation that can really excite your nervous system. And closing your eyes down just allows you to focus inward at the sensations that you're sensing and feeling. So again, if we allow our body to sense and feel safe, and regulated and relaxed, we can function at an optimal level. And that's really important because we have such busy demands. Many of us have got children, we're raising children, maybe we're taking care of elderly parents, we're managing work as well, and then just life, things that hit us at different times. So we've got to look at ways that we can manage our nervous system as we go through this experience that we're dealing from day to day. But I'd encourage you, if you really want to delve deeper and come with me on a greater exploration of what's actually happening within your nervous system and learning many, many more techniques, if you go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page, and if you leave your details there, whenever I open the membership doors again, which is every now and again throughout the year, I'll email you to let you know that the membership doors are opened and you are more than welcome to join. So you can find out all the details at totalsomatics.com. Click on the Join Now page. But until next time, all my love, all my very best wishes, and send you all my kisses your way. Have a great day. Take care. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.